My name is Nickel, Nickel, and this is Weird Facts Apex Legends. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and if you have any weird facts of your own, leave them down below in the comments. But for now, let's jump right into it. So as you probably already know, Apex Legends is a new free-to-play battle royale game from Respawn Entertainment. One of the things that seems to be people's favorite aspect of Apex Legends is the cast of characters themselves from the pool of characters that it launched with. Much like a game like Overwatch, some of the characters at launch actually don't have a lot of explicit lore, but the personality of each character has endeared them to players through things like voice lines and finisher animations. Although the characters are pretty unique, one of them has actually made an appearance before in another Respawn game. Bloodhound, the Recon class legend, is actually based on a design that was originally intended for Titanfall 2. Artwork that resembles Bloodhound very closely was featured in the art book for Titanfall 2. And this obviously wasn't noticed until relatively recently, but it is cool to see that Respawn is willing to use content that was originally designed for a previous game. One of the first people to actually post this was Miguel Lozado over on Twitter that posted a screenshot of the Titanfall 2 art book where the tweet itself said Bloodhound was in the Titanfall 2 art book. Who else will be used as a legend in Apex Legends? Tons of amazing concepts in this book, and in this screenshot we can see that this is straight up Bloodhound here. And on the left side of the page we actually see some characters standing next to mechs. This next fact is based on something that in the future a lot of people might know about, but as of right now in the early stages of the game, it seems like the vast majority of people from the live streams where we're playing the game every day and just people we talk to don't actually know that there is a tier of loot above legendary. So as you guys already know, there are different tiers of loot based on rarity, and part of the way that Apex Legends monetizes, since it is a free-to-play game, is through loot boxes. So in the loot boxes you can actually get cosmetics that don't affect the gameplay in any way, but in many games like this, items like skins are desired by players to customize their favorite legends. And for a lot of people, I think the assumption is that legendary is the highest tier, but there is a tier of item even more rare than that, known as heirloom, that is above legendary and apparently has less than a 1% chance of dropping. For every 500 boxes someone opens, they might only get one heirloom. But even then, it's not guaranteed, because nothing is guaranteed if it's less than 100% drop rate in statistics. So some of these heirloom items include special voice lines, weapon skins, and other items, but due to the incredible rarity of them, most people have only ever seen them in YouTube videos. So heirloom actually appears red, which you can see here in a video by NoahJ456, which will be linked down below the description along with anything else referenced in this video. So in his case, he pulled the kunai knife, the fearless banner, and the come find me quip all at the same time. So apparently you can't just get the knife, you can't just get the quip, they all come together in one loot box. And they're all heirloom tier items, obviously. The knife itself does look really cool. It's kind of this electrical spark around the blade that looks like it's almost ready to shock anyone that it touches. In this clip, Viss actually opens up the exact same 3 items as well.
Dude, the kill quotes is so damn toxic. Cool, but thanks to the prime. What the hell is this? What is this?
You know what I look like. Come find me.
What?
This next fact isn't weird, but it's definitely something that not a lot of people seem to know yet. For such a small initial cast of characters, there's actually quite a lot of diversity in those characters. There are several areas represented, including South Africa and the Pacific Islands, but among that diversity is also some diversity into the LGBTQ community. According to his official biography, the character Gibraltar appears to be gay. If we take a look at Gibraltar's bio on EA's website for Apex Legends, it says, Gibraltar, shielded fortress. Gibraltar is a gentle giant with a wild side, the son of 2 Saurus volunteers, which stands for Search and Rescue Association of Solace. He has always been skilled at getting others out of dangerous situations that are common in the Outlands. However, he only began to understand the value of protecting others when he and his boyfriend stole his father's motorcycle, took it on a joyride, and got trapped by a deadly mudslide. His parents saved them, and his father lost an arm in the process. Gibraltar has never forgotten that sacrifice and has devoted his life to helping those in need. But he isn't the only one. There seems to be some implication on Bloodhound's official biography that Bloodhound may be non-binary. And the reason for this is that Bloodhound is only referred to as they or their. I'll show you an example of what I mean. So the bio starts off by saying technological tracker and says Bloodhound is known across the Outlands as one of the greatest game hunters the frontier has ever seen. And that's about all anyone knows. Their identity is a mystery wrapped in layers of rumors. They are fabulously wealthy, a bloodthirsty murderer, a Goliath whisperer, a former slave, half bat, and a dozen other things depending on who's doing the whispering. All anyone truly knows is that Bloodhound is a force to be reckoned with in the Apex games. Bloodhound's unparalleled tracking skills are a boon to any team they join, helping them root out hidden opponents and tracking enemies' movements. Calling on Earth's Old Norse gods to guide them, Bloodhound believes that destiny is a path that has already been laid out, eventually carrying all to their death. But with that knowledge comes strength, because until that day comes, Bloodhound knows they can't be stopped. This next fact is actually about the pinging system in Apex Legends. Arguably one of the most revolutionary things when it comes to communication in Apex Legends is the ping system, which is a system of non-verbal communication that allows players to shout out enemies, pick locations, and tag loot for the rest of their team. This is pretty essential for the game since at the moment it can only be played in teams of 3. But what you might not know is that the developers actually tested this system as they were building it without voice chat and fake names to make sure that you were able to have good games regardless if people were communicating with microphones or not. This was actually revealed because there was a Polygon tweet a while back that had the headline that said, "Thanks to a handful of clever design choices, Apex Legends is great because you don't have to talk to anyone." The official Apex Legends Twitter account quote tweeted this and responded, "Fun fact, we play tested for a month with voice comms off and fake names to simulate playing with random people, and that allowed us to fill things out in an authentic way. Awesome to see folks using and enjoying smart comms." So clearly this has worked out pretty well. People have been praising the ping system as a solution to the traditional problems of voice communication in online games, such as people playing without headsets or not even being able to speak the same language. One of the things that seemed to surprise the most people in the games industry about Apex Legends was its surprise release. Without any hype or marketing prior to the launch of the game, Respawn released the game after a short Twitch stream on February 4th. Surprise drops like this are more common for smaller games and sometimes even in the music industry, but larger titles can rarely be hidden for long. The same can be said for Apex, since it didn't completely make it to release without some details leaking out. The previous weekend, apparently Respawn invited many members of the press, influencers, and streamers to their studio in order to try out the game, where any footage recorded was embargoed up until release. But a few days before the release, the game actually did begin to leak, first on Twitter with a user claiming that a source of his had played the game and that it was going to be a surprise launch the following Monday. Then more details began to leak on Reddit, even with some footage starting to be shown. And initially, a lot of the people witnessing this seemed to be concerned with the initial reports due to the deviations from the Titanfall formula, such as no wall running or actual Titans. Some people were also concerned that it was just an attempt to cash in on the monster success of Fortnite and that the whole project was nothing more than just a cash grab as a whole. But thankfully, the game turned out the way it did and it's enjoying huge success. Speaking of which, the success of Apex Legends is unprecedented in some senses. While games like Fortnite and PUBG might currently have more players, those players were gained over a much longer stretch of time. But no game can claim the size of the player base that Apex Legends accrued in its first week. Respawn's Viss announced on Twitter that the game had well over 2 million concurrent players, as well as confirming an astounding 25 million players week 1 in a statistic. Several things may have contributed to this. Obviously, the high quality of the game and being released for free, but unlike other free-to-play games that are sometimes released in a unfinished state or early in development, Apex was extremely polished. There's also a huge focus on team play because since the game can currently only be played in groups of 3, it somewhat incentivizes other players to get people that they regularly game with to also download the game, as opposed to another game like Fortnite, which can be played alone, so the draw to get your friends to join isn't as strong. And if you guys remember playing Fortnite way back before the game was even technically free, when you had to buy the Save the World version of the game in order to play the Battle Royale version, back then it was actually the opposite. You were actually only able to play solo, and it took a little bit of time before you were able to get into duos or squads. So it was kind of a reverse approach when it came to what kind of grouping they wanted to start with. You might already know that Apex Legends is developed by Respawn Entertainment, the team behind both Titanfall and Titanfall 2, but what you might not know is the pedigree behind the studio itself, especially when it comes to first-person shooters. Respawn was founded by Jason West and Vince Sampella, and that pair had previously founded Infinity Ward, which was responsible for the development of some of the most iconic first-person shooters in history, such as the Modern Warfare series. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is generally perceived as totally having revolutionized the online shooter experience and popularized things such as incorporating experience points typically found in an RPG game into a shooter setting. There may have been games before, but that was one that really blew up that concept on a huge scale. Both Titanfall 1 and 2 were highly praised for the quality of their shooting mechanics, which may have transferred over into Apex Legends, and Respawn Entertainment is also currently working on a Star Wars game, currently titled Jedi Fallen Order. And right now the rumors are saying that it's meant to take place between Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith and Episode 4 A New Hope. After 3 games like this in a row, there's a lot of hope that Respawn will knock their Star Wars game out of the park. The final fact is that pushing the like button for some people actually doubles their kill count in Apex Legends, but that's not always the case. So let us know down below in the comments what happened when you push the like button on this video. Some people might be able to do things like turn the button red or turn into one of the characters in Apex Legends, but let us know what happens when you push the thumbs up button down below in the comments. If you guys end up enjoying this video, definitely subscribe as well and check out the live streams. We've been playing Apex Legends pretty much every day via the link down below in the description, and if you're new to the channel, we have a ton of other videos on here that you might like just as much, also linked in that description, or you can click the boxes on screen. But either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.